Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 57 of the Dynasty podcast. The boys are back. The NBA is well and truly back. 1 week in now. Some special performances. It's been good to see the players that we all love in action again. We are here to discuss it all the first week of the NBA. Break it down for you guys. Myself, Panache Nyashanu, here with Eddie Mack, Ethan McDonald, and the Terminator, Jed Mitchell. Discuss all things NBA, give our takes on the week one most impressive players, most impressive teams, then also most disappointing teams, most disappointing players who, lots of expectation come into the season and have let us down. But with that being said, guys, how are you feeling, man? 1 week into the NBA season, 1 week into NBA fantasy. It's been fun.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've probably watched 24 hours of basketball so far. Been glued to the TV. A lot of great games, a lot of blowouts so far, but it's amazing. Fantasy team, 1-0. Let's keep it rolling.
Hey, Jed, do you do any work or are you just watching basketball?
Mate, long weekend here. Knocked off at 3 o'clock on Friday so I can come home and watch the Thunder play, and then a weekend full of games, so bloody good.
Yeah, shout out Labor Day. I have no idea what Labor Day is even for, but shout out the Labor people. That's what we like.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody on the dole, just because they're working so hard that they need the day off. That's what it is.
There you go. Yeah. Not me. 40-hour week. That's how we do it. Shut up. But that's good, bro. I enjoyed that day as well. We got to see Tyrese Haliburton give us some special performances. Gave us a donut against the New York Knicks, and then a horrid performance against the 76ers, but there were some other good performances in there. Like today, the first 50 bomb of the season. Shout out Paolo Banchero. The Orlando Magic, we said before the season this was the team to watch, and then Paolo Banchero, I think Ethan was the one who had him top 5 MVP, so this is a good way to start that resume towards being top 5. So shout out Paolo giving us the first 50 bomb, bro.
And he was probably 30th or 40th on my list for first player to drop 50 points. So very, very surprising and good on him.
Look, guys, I'm here to have a good time, all right? And I might not be as smart as you guys are when it comes to the NBA content and knowledge, but I know my stuff. And Paolo Banchero is top 5 MVP, may even be MVP, who knows. And I also try to tell you guys about Jalen Green, don't sleep on that man. We had this, me and Jed, I know everyone's listened to our podcast, the last one that was just released, but, me and Jed had a massive argument about Jalen Green and Stephen Curry. But if you look at them currently side by side, face to face, put the stats up, you wouldn't even know who's who. You would think that Jalen Green stats are Steph Curry's. That's how well he's going. So,
what do you mean?
I'm here all year. You guys ever need some hot takes? You guys want betting advice? You want any of that? I got it.
What do you mean?
I'm the one with the brains. I'm the ones with the brains in this operation, not these two fools.
Jalen Green is literally paying homage to Pascal Siakam, number 43, by shooting 43% from the field. Don't even start this, bro. Don't even start this.
Look. I'm going to accept that currently that he's shooting 40% in 3 games, but he's still averaging 29 points a game. And look, you guys said there's no one on Houston that's going to average 25 plus, and he's doing it currently. And if he maintains the pace that he's going at, he's going to prove you two so badly wrong that I will have to laugh in your face.
Bro, shout out Jalen Green for torching the San Antonio Spurs. That's a hard task to do, bro. Shout out. He's like as Chris Paul, 40-year-old Chris Paul, who can barely move on the court. Shout out.
Hey, don't do Chris Paul like that, man. He can move. He moves up and down.
They did beat the Charlotte Hornets, though. Oh, no way. They didn't. Unlucky.
Okay, well, there's not a lot of people on this planet that can turn it on the way that LaMelo Ball turned it on that game, but he just was feeling himself a little bit, and that you can't do a lot against that.
There you go. But that's the guy who said better than Steph. We'll see. But it's early doors. It's early doors. It's been good to see 3 games in for some teams, 4 games in for some teams. So yeah, like I said, we're here to break it all down for you. Before we get started though, if you are listening for the first time, Make sure you leave us a rating, a review. If you enjoy the podcast, for sure, wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, wherever it is, make sure you leave us a rating or review. We'll really appreciate that. And make sure you share the podcast with your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone. Make sure that you get the Dunk Dynasty podcast growing as much as possible. And make sure you go over to social media. We're 50 followers away from 500 on TikTok, and we're getting closer to 1,000 on Instagram as well. And make sure you head over to YouTube and subscribe. But with that being said, guys, let's start off with the most impressive teams to start off the week. I mean, you've got teams out there like the Celtics, OKC, and the Cavs who are undefeated. Then some teams in there as well. The two LA teams both looking good. All over the league. Good teams, good starts. Who is your team, Ethan, that you are looking at after week one? Most impressive.
Look, you know what I'm going to say here. I'm going to say the Clippers. I just think the amount of controversy surrounding Kawhi coming into the season, everyone's kind of got them down, in 12th, 13th on the table, back in the lottery kind of thing, but we know we don't have our pick. But the way the Clippers have started, defensively sound, Derek Jones has made a massive impact on the defensive end. Zubac and Harden in that pick and roll game. I mean, Zoo looks like a top 10 center right now, currently. I mean, hot take, of course, but looks like a top 10 center. And I just think the Clippers are just, defensively, they are sound. They're moving, they're rotating, they're switching. They look really good defensively. The teams aren't scoring a lot of points against them. And then I think offensively, we're struggling to shoot the three ball. But other than that, we're getting to the basket well, and then we're filling the space. I think once we figure out how to shoot the three ball, I don't know how we've forgotten how to do that. I think the Clippers will be, again, way better offensively, and then it's just hopefully we can keep the defensive up and then carry on with the season. But then with the addition of Kawhi as well on top of that, the Clippers, that's only up from here. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, very interesting. You didn't even mention the new dome.
Intuit Dome, bro. Hey, what?
The Intuit Dome.
1,000 toilets?
It speaks for itself, but the Intuit Dome looks incredible on that first night. Then KD said it's like one of the best things he's ever played in. And that wall behind them, initially before the Suns went on that 10 free throws in a row run, before that they were struggling to hit the free throws. So I mean, maybe it has an impact, maybe it doesn't. I reckon it looks so cool though.
Yeah, those paid actors are doing a hell of a job in the wall, by the way.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Whatever works, work. I will call out something Ethan just said just then. Zubac's top 10 center in the NBA, mate. He wouldn't even go top 10 pick in the expansion draft.
What? Zubac is top 10 center right now. Don't even lie. Don't cap.
Yeah.
Come on, don't do that. Don't do that.
So Pete,
don't do that.
Pete, bit of context, Pete. So me and Jed, so the other day I brought that up that I think Zubac is currently a top 10, and Jed ripped me out for about 5 minutes that is how he's not, and was comparing the players. Jed genuinely thinks Isaiah Hartenstein's a better center than Zubac.
Get help, bro. Get
and then
help.
I was roasting him for that. And then he was acting like I was the dumb one, and I was like, "Bro," and I said Zubac and Jared Allen currently are currently on the same level. I reckon Zubac and Jared Allen are like similar centers right now.
I mean, listen, it's only 3 games. I know that, but we have to base it off what we're given, the statistical data that we're given. Give me Zubac. Zubac is top 10 right now, bro. I think that's that's easy. I don't think that's too much of a debate.
Top 10 performing this year, but not a top 10 if you're going top 10 players. No,
I'm not. Top 10 just centers. Because think about who's there.
I know, but top 10 centers currently, but if you're looking at
that's what I said. Yeah, he's changing his mind up.
I mean, if you're just evaluating who's had top 3 worth of performances so far this season, but if I'm picking centers, I'm not picking him in my top 10.
Why not? He can block. He can defend at the rim. He can defend bigs. He's a very good finisher around the basket. We know that. He's always been a great finisher around the basket. He can rebound. He does everything that a center needs to do. If you're looking at traditional centers, he has to be top 10. Because who's there? Jokic and Embiid are the clear number ones, right? That's we know without a doubt. Then who else you got in there? Jarrett Allen. You want to count Sabonis as a center or a power forward? You can put him in there as well.
I'll put him as a center.
I mean, you can put Vucevic ahead. I don't mind that. I'm not putting Gobert ahead of him though. Absolutely not. I don't care about 4 defensive players.
Gobert, I would have had probably up there. Cat.
Oh, Cat's a center. Yeah, put Cat in there. So that's Cat. And then AD. Are we saying AD is a 4 or 5?
Yeah. AD is a 4. I won't count Giannis though.
Okay, so Giannis doesn't count. I think, in my opinion, I think he's better than Brook Lopez.
Shingun, yeah, I'll give you a bit of the Brook Lopez.
Yeah, you can put Shingun ahead. Don't mind that one at all.
So we've got 10 already
No, we
before
don't.
putting.
How's there
Yeah,
10?
Embiid, Jokic, Wemby, Chet, Allen, Cat, AD, Shingun, and I put Gobert in there, but you
I
didn't
don't
want him.
know. Gobert and Allen are
Gobert's
not above
no,
Zubac.
come
I'm
on
sorry,
now.
bro. I know it's only
Come on.
small. I'm not putting Gobert above him. Absolutely not. No way. The
Okay,
guy who gets no way we can put. I don't care how many defensive player of the years he has. He's not better than Zubac. No way. Absolutely not. I'd say
yeah.
I agree with Ethan. I'm not being. I mean, I'm not even a Clipper fan, so I'm not even being biased. I think he's top 10 right now for sure. For sure. You got to put
Like
him in.
a good
Oh,
example of that
okay,
was the
no,
game against the game against the
there's one.
Nuggets. Okay, just interesting. There was a game against the Nuggets. Jokic hit his career high in threes just because he couldn't score in the paint. Zubac was locking that dude down in the paint. Zubac is not versatile enough to get up to the 3-point line and then recover, so he wasn't going up and guarding Jokic, which is a limitation to his game. But Jokic couldn't score in the paint on that dude. Zubac is too big, too strong, too powerful.
Okay, we forgot two names.
Mm.
Bam Adebayo.
But if we come back, we'll circle back anyway. Let's circle back to the actual debate here, which is the teams, most impressive teams. So Clippers, I'll give it to you. I think Clippers have started extremely well. Jed, who's your most impressive team to start off week 1 in the league?
Okay, I'm going to say two here. My number one most impressive, but then it's also kind of aligned where we expect them. You can't go past what the Thunder have been able to do. Probably more so they've actually been able to incorporate that defense to the way that was kind of anticipated, and that's not always the case when you put a lot of good defensive players on a team. They don't always defend well as a team, and I think in the last game the Thunder had 23 combined blocks and steals. Like that's just insane. That like really stifles an offense and really shuts them and makes it hard for those other teams to get in the game. Their 3-point shooting hasn't been great, and then they've had players step up. Jalen Williams probably hasn't taken the leap people expected, but Chet has been on another world. His rebounds and scoring are likely to go down over time, but 25, 13, 4 blocks a game, like it's crazy good numbers there. The other team, which you guys disagreed with when we talked before the pod, but I've been loving what the Hornets have been doing, just purely from the fact that like it's great to watch them play good basketball. Like I find that impressive, the leap they've taken from previous years. LaMelo Ball looks great. Brandon Miller got injured, but the way their team moves and it's exciting. Trey Mann's looking good. Misic is probably not as good as I thought he'd be, but like this team has been pesky and annoying. They beat the Houston Rockets in an upset in their first game. LaMelo Ball fouled out. They were looking like they were going to beat the Hornets in that game. I don't know, the Hornets beat the Hawks. And then they took the Heat to the wire. So I find that really impressive. And I'm probably going to watch quite a few Hornets games as long as LaMelo Ball stays healthy. I think even though they're 1 and 2, they're impressive compared to where the expectations were.
I mean, that's a good one. I mean, I wouldn't have put a team with a losing record on my most impressive, but I don't mind it. LaMelo Ball's looked good. The foul trouble, man, good. I don't know why he gets into foul trouble so easily, bro. Holy.
There's been a lot of foul trouble though. Like some of these games have been hard to watch because they've been really physical in some points, but then there's been a lot of like away from the play kind of fouls. Like
soft touchy fouls. Those are the ones that I think just come on, bro. Let the players play.
Especially on the rookies, it's like I get it, but like come on, like it gets frustrating to watch at some point.
100%. For me, I've just gone straight missionary on this one. I've just gone with the Boston Celtics. I think for sure Boston Celtics, bro, being best team. I mean, I know it's boring to say because they're the champions, but come on, bro. 4-0 to start the season. These guys they're on a tear. And today's one as well, beating the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee sucks. And that was a good win, in my opinion, for sure. And I mean, the statement that they made on opening night as well. Boston, how many championship winning teams bring back the whole roster? And then let alone they bring back the whole roster, but in the first, these first few games of the season, they're not even going to have Kristaps Porzingis, yet they are still just on such a tear. The chemistry that they have is on a different level. I don't think any team is going to be able to get that sort of chemistry purely because I mean, like we said, no other team is probably going to be able to has brought back the entire roster that they had last season like they did. And I mean, Missoula, he's just got them. They've got boulders on their shoulders, not even chips, boulders, and they've got a point to prove, which is weird, for a defending champion. They're looking dangerous, bro. And Peyton Pritchard, $81 right now to win Sixth Man of the Year. Get on it, nice and early. So, the Celtics for me, most impressive team for sure.
One thing I touched on in the preseason pods, I was like, Jesus, are we gonna sit here and admit that Joe Mazzulla might actually be a good coach? Where are you? Are you counting your stocks yet, or are you buying stocks on Joe Mazzulla for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, not buy. I wouldn't say Coach of the Year. I think Coach of the Year for me is still Taylor Jenkins because I mean, just if we just preview how we think the season's going to go, I think if they go from 27 wins to let's say 50, Taylor Jenkins. But as a coach, I think Mazzulla for sure. I think he's up there now for sure. He's proven himself. Once you win a championship, I don't care what sort of roster you have. If you win a championship as a coach, you have to go in there and make adjustments. You have to go out there and actually coach your team to win the games. So you got to get the respect. So I'm buying stocks in Mazzulla. Selling stocks in Glenn Rivers and Darvin Ham, but buying a lot of stock in Joe Mazzulla for sure.
I thought you fully cashed out. I thought it was like 1 cent cash out, and you're like, I don't even want to see it on my bet slips.
Which one, Glenn?
Yeah, I just thought you were like, I need that off the books.
Yeah.
I think, didn't you pay me to take them off your hands?
I think I tried to. I really did. I mean, I went to the investment center. I said, please, whatever it takes. I don't care if we have to sell this at a billion % loss. Let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it.
And they said, nah, we can't touch that. It's untradeable.
Shout out my boy Glenn, man. But it's been good, man. I mean, this has been good. It's nice to see some of these teams come out, with a hot start. I mean, like I said, even the Cavs as well, 4-0. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo list for the Cavs to be 4-0, and they beat the Knicks today, that's a pretty good scalp to have.
Yeah,
one of the things I was going to say before we move on to the Cavs was that I think the most impressive part about the Celtics in their current start to the season, and that is, you said before, is the fact that Derek White is showing his value even more this year, and that he's probably having a better start than Holiday, even in certain situations. Brown, he's showing that he's a high level, highly intelligent, skillful player. And then Peyton Pritchard's also taken that extra step, becoming that six man, filling that role, and actually looks solid. And when Porzingis comes back, and actually, then you're going to have Horford and Pritchard coming off the bench, which is shit. You're looking at that thing, and what am I going to do now? So the Celtics are in a situation as with Mazzulla and the entire team and the roster and the squad, and like they're gonna go back to back. By the way they look currently right now, I'm calling it now. Celtics are gonna go back to back, and they're just gonna be so hard to beat. Like the Celtics, the way they look with the current roster and the squad and the players that are going to go in, if they can stay healthy, there's potential the Celtics could go on to beat the Warriors 73-9 season.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, especially with the boulders they got in their shot. I actually don't think that's outrageous to say. I really don't. That's
No, that is absolutely outrageous. 73 wins.
So it's happened.
Do you say beat? I do say get close. My bad. I get close. I would say beat.
Yeah, so they're either gonna get it or beat it. The team, the way that defensively, they are so good defensively, and they are even better offensively. And Porzingis, when he comes back, is going to add that extra value, the extra length, the extra height, the extra scoring. And then the spacing, as we forget about the spacing that he's going to have, because he can shoot a clip. The Celtics are going to be so hard to beat during the season.
I think with such a three-heavy offense, they're going to have nights where they just get shot off the floor, just because that's the way it works. The law of averages will catch up with you every now and again on these games. But one thing I think you're also passing over is how impressive winning 73 games in a season is.
Massively impressive, and it's insane to do. But what I'm saying is that Golden State team and what they had going for them during that year, the Celtics have got it this year. They've got the chip on their shoulder. They're looking to win. They look aggressive. They look tough. They look fresh. They look fresh, which is weird to say because they, the players that went to the Olympics, they went to the finals, all of those things. They've had a short off season, all of that. Then they're going to have Porzingis coming back. They're doing this shit, and we're talking about them like this without one of the best bigs you could even say in the game with Porzingis, with the way he shoots, the way he defends, the way he plays. There's an insane amount of potential with this squad, and I reckon 73-9 probably isn't as far fetched as you think.
I think it's way in any season at the start of the season it's way too early to mention anything remotely close to 73-9. I think it's out of this world level stuff that I think like that they had a unanimous MVP that year. Curry, like Clay was doing his thing, scoring 60 points in 3 quarters. It's just unfathomable that that would happen again almost in our lifetime.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Then. If you did the starting lineup of the Golden State Warriors that year to the starting lineup of the Celtics healthy, who's going to be the starting lineup?
I'll ask you this: if you went and you looked at the teams that the Celtics would have to beat, most of them are in the West, so that benefits them. But there is 6, 7 really, really good teams in the West. They got to play twice. That is 14 insanely hard games in the West where they like if they win, 8 of those games, that's impressive. And then you've got all the games against the other teams in the East as well. There is so many hard games these days that it's just a lot harder.
Next one that we move on to now, though, is most disappointing teams to start the season. Whether this is a team that you had expectation for or the general public, of NBA fans all had expectations for, and they've just come out the gate and shut the bed. Who do you have? We'll start with you, Ethan, man.
Yeah, so my first team is the Pacers. They're my most disappointing team so far to start the season. But the roster that they have, the construction around it, the players, especially, a potential top 5, top 7 point guard in the league, a solid small forward in Siakam, a really solid center in Turner, and they look terrible. Haliburton looks terrible. Siakam, not great. Miles Turner's worst start of the season I've seen in a while. The Pacers look rusty. They look slow. It looks like teams are figuring out that they like to play fast and like to shoot the ball fast and they like to get up and down the court, but teams are just slowing it down and just keeping them off their toes, and just trying to get them on their heels a bit. Haliburton looks rusty. I don't know what's going on in Indiana. The defense is bad. I thought Carlisle was a defensive coach. I don't really know what's going on with the Pacers currently. I think I had them up around that 4th or 5th finishing for the season. So, I kind of want them to turn the season around, not make me look an idiot. But at the moment, currently they look sloppy, and they're definitely my most disappointing team to start the season.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. The Pacers have not been good, eh? Oh, wow. Tyrese Haliburton put up a donut against the Knicks as well, which was tough because he shouted out 50 Cent and then came out, took away the 5, gave us a donut. I was disappointed, man.
I know, it's a team that was so good to watch as well. Not everyone roots for the Pacers, but it's almost like when your team's playing the Pacers, you knew it was going to be a good game.
Yeah, you knew you could get points. Like, it would be high scoring, exciting. Now, bro, these guys are somber. It's sad times.
And the one game they could have won against the Tyrese Maxey Chucker lead 76ers, they got it to overtime, and then they just forgot how to close a game. They're like, okay, let's go for the quick, easy basket. Except it wasn't an easy basket, and they took a heavily contested 2-pointer and then lost the ball out of bounds. I think there's just some decision making, there's some diverting. The one thing that we all needed, or all wanted to see as well, Haliburton taking charge, just not happened. And unless it does, this team's future is not looking bright. It's only 3 games, but come on, it's these issues are. A player like Haliburton should hit the season running.
Well. Yeah. Yeah, again, the expectation we have for the dude, and the way that he played the start of the season last year, he didn't finish the season as strong, but the talent. But I think he's averaging 14 points a game and 5 assists for a guy that's known for assists, known for buckets as well, and he's doing none of it. The Pacers, I mentioned it to you guys a few days ago, but. The way that he started and the way the Pacers are looking and whatever, we talked about the Siakam trade. Is Siakam really the number 2 guy you want behind him, or are they both just number 2s? But then I also mentioned, does it make you kind of look back at the Kings trade and is the Haliburton and the Sabonis trade, was that really the same equivalence? Does that trade still on the same level kind of thing? It's hard to get into now because it's only 3-4 games into the season, but it'll be interesting to see after 20 games how they're actually tracking.
I think Haliburton will right the ship. I think he's too good not to be, but I think it is worrying that he's a guy who needs to turn it on. the best players in the game turn it on every game, and it's like almost like he needs something to spark him to get it going. But yeah, that's we build these guys up, and we've got to live with the disappointment if they don't they don't bear fruits.
For me, my most disappointing team to start the season, the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, oh my Lord, have been so disappointing. It's not even funny. For them to go to overtime against the Raptors, and this looks bad. This looks so awful. And this is what I said since last season when we knew that KCP was leaving in free agency, and you have almost all your money is tied up into 4 players. What does that mean? The rest of the squad is not going to be very good. And we are seeing it play out right in front of our eyes. They look terrible. They look terrible. And the fact that Nikola Jokic has had to drop 40 points for them to even compete in these last 2 games is wilderness. It is wild. Russell Westbrook, that was my guy for 6th man of the year. I think we all know that's not happening for sure. There is absolutely no chance. The Nuggets are last in bench scoring. Last. And it's not really even close. They are last in bench scoring. It is awful. It is terrible. Your shooting guard. How is your shooting guard the worst shooter on the team? Christian Brown. How is Jokic shooting better from 3 than you? And he's shooting more threes. And he's the center. I don't care that it's Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the world. I don't care. He can't be shooting more threes than the shooting guard. And shooting better from 3 than the shooting guard, bro. They are so cooked right now. As presently constructed, if the Nuggets stay the exact same way that they are going to be a play-in team. For sure. But we know they'll make trades because there's no way you stick it out. And we heard that Scout came out today and was roasting Westbrook, saying that he should retire. I don't think he should retire. I just don't think this is, so far, this is not the right team nor the right fit for him.
On that Westbrook thing, it is kind of weird though, like watching him play, and he's like boosting the offense, like kind of sparking a bit of speed into it, bit of intensity, and he'll dribble up the court and hit a wide open man for a shot. And like, if Westbrook's pushing the pace to hit people who can't, shoot threes, that's what's hard to watch. I don't. He's doing exactly what the Nuggets wanted him to do, but then there's no tools for him to actually do anything with. All they're doing is shortening their possession times and giving the other team more chances to score. It's tough.
Even for him, I mean, he's not shooting amazing. He's not shooting very well. I think we all saw that game against the Clippers where they were daring him to shoot and he was shooting, and it wasn't a good sight to see. And I mean, like I said, it just comes down to the construction of the roster anyway, right? Because these guys since the championship have Bruce Brown left, Jeff Green left, and then KCP, who I said so over and over and over again, that's your last 3-point sniper. If you let him go, you're cooked. And now you're relying on Christian Brown to be your sniper, Peyton Watson to be your sniper. Russell Westbrook was supposed to be the facilitator. And as you say, Jed, you can't facilitate to shooters if the guys can't shoot.
See, the thing is, I agree with your Russell Westbrook take that with the offensively, what both of you guys have said. But at the same time, he's not performing offensively with that team, with that unit, because they're not doing anything defensively. When they were playing the Clippers, I think when Jokic and those guys went off and Russ was leading the second unit, the Clippers went on like a 22-3 run or something because the defense is horrific. Russell Westbrook was the only one playing defense. That's their problem. They've got no one in the second unit that can play defense. And that's like, I understand offensively and 3-point snipers, all of that. But Jokic and Murray hasn't started well. MPJ, those guys, they haven't started well. But they're good enough to turn it back on and to keep themselves in games. But when the second unit's on, they need people that can play defense and can actually hold a team and not let it slip away to make Jokic have to go on a 40-piecer. They need to go out and trade for defensive players that are going to make an impact. Because Russell Westbrook's not there to play defense.
You don't need defense. They
100% need defense. They've got no one on the bench that plays defense. Russell Westbrook's the only one playing defense.
Defense is we know. Defense is a massive element. But listen, you are last in bench scoring. Your starters are giving you majority of your points. And you are shooting horrific from 3. Your best shooter is your center. You need, obviously, 3 and D. the three is what I would prioritize. Get shooters out into that squad.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
There's no point in having massive amounts of shooters that can shoot if you can't fucking stop the other team from scoring.
No, but it's also like you need something to get you going. Like the one thing that's going to kill you most is having poor 3-point shooting, getting long rebounds, and then the fast break started, and it just compounds, and the team keeps pounding you down and scoring and scoring and scoring. You need to get flow in your offense, and without good shooting, you've got no flow in your offense. Like as much as you can be a good defensive team, you can defend them, but if you can't score above 110 points a game, you're not going to win games in the NBA.
Okay, who would be your ideal 3-point shooter? You're like a good one to go that team right now for like an easy trade.
Listen, if I'm the Nuggets, I am getting on a call right now with maybe give it some time. They'll probably give it some time, but I'll do it right now. I'm ringing up the Detroit Pistons. Give me Malik Beasley and bring him back to Denver. That's what I'm doing. Bring me Malik Beasley. Let's go get Tim Hardaway Jr. Or the trade that I think is most likely going to happen. He plays with his boy from Serbia. They played together at the Olympics. They ring up the Atlanta Hawks. You know what, MPJ? We'll do you a favor. You've been such a great servant to us. You won a championship with us. Let's trade you to your buddy, your guy who you played AAU basketball with. Let's trade you to the Atlanta Hawks to play with Trae Young. MPJ, you go to Atlanta and see if you can manage to get Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is a sniper. We know that. I know he's hurt right now, but at that time when you trade for him, he'll be healthy. Don't worry. And see if you can sneak in DeAndre Hunter into that trade as well. Who knows? It's possible.
You wouldn't be able to, but if you get Dyson Daniels in that would be...
Yeah, I don't think they would get Dyson Daniels, but if I would try to get Bogdan Bogdanovic and DeAndre Hunter if you can. But if not, just get Bogdan Bogdanovic. Then go see if you can make a move for Malik Beasley. Or Tim Hardaway Jr. on an expiring contract who's also on the Pistons. You can try acquire him too. And now all of a sudden, you have shooters, which is what Jokic needs. Because I think everyone sort of knows this by now. Jokic is far more dangerous as a passer than he is as a scorer. Because when he's able to get all his other teammates into rhythm, we saw it, like MPJ, Jamal Murray, when they had KCP. When he's able to get all those other guys in rhythm, now the defense can't collapse. Now Jokic can play you one-on-one. Or if you want to choose to double him, he kicks out to guys that can hit the shot. Now he's kicking out to a guy who's shooting 25% from three. That's not going to do anything for you, bro. Like, that's killer. Whereas if you're kicking that out to Malik Beasley, good night, Irene. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So
I'm super disappointed in the Denver Nuggets, but I think they're self-aware as any team is in this league. And I as much as I like MPJ, I think for sure he's the piece that's going to move because I don't think teams will want Aaron Gordon, but I don't think if the Nuggets have to choose out of trading Aaron Gordon or MPJ, I think it's more than likely going to be MPJ.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But how about you, Jed? Who's your most disappointing team to start the NBA season?
Well, you guys took my top two, so I'm going to go with my third option. I know everyone's holding out for the expansion draft for the NBA to add 2 more teams. I just want there to be 30 teams in the NBA again. Can the Detroit Pistons win a fucking game? I kind of thought coming into this year that we were going to get another respectable team back in the NBA, and that hasn't seemed to happen. They added a lot of guys in the offseason. Cade Cunningham's playing quite well, much to the ill feelings it gives me because I like seeing them struggle. But yeah, I'm disappointed in the Pistons, not because I expected them to be 500 or above, but I kind of expected them to pick up 1 or 2 early wins or at least show us some kind of signs of life. Last year they started 2-1 and look where they ended up. So, it's tough. My 2 most disappointing teams, Pacers and the Nuggets. But yeah, Detroit is not a pretty sight, and I'm not going to be tuning into too many of their games this season. I will add.
Hater. You don't want to watch an all-star player? You don't want to watch the all-star Cade Cunningham play?
Okay, the only way, at their current rate, the only way Cade Cunningham's going to be an all-star player is as an injury fill-in. There will be injuries, so he'll be an all-star. But it'll be an injury.
Scotty Barnes made it last year. They're
injury fill-in. Trae Young last year. Right. Injury fill-in.
Just quickly, from me. The Pacers have played. The Pistons have played the Pacers, the Cavs, the Celtics, and the Heat to start the season, and they've got Philly coming up. And they've competed. Every game's been within 10. So
Okay, so they lost to your most disappointing team.
yeah, they did. They did, and that's the only Pacers win. But at the same time, though, the Pacers are meant to be a top of the table team. So the Pistons have had a tough start to the season, and I agree with you. They're disappointed. They don't look like they've got too much life in them. But I would also say that they do look like there's a bit of cohesion between the playing group. Whereas there's players that are still there that have been there from last year. They've added Tobias Harris and that, so they've got other people in there to help fill the void a little bit. And I think it'll click. And with Cade leading that from the front, it'll click, and he will be an all-star this year.
Tell him, Ethan. That's a preacher right there. Preach to the quiet. Cade Cunningham all-star. I'm preaching this until we get to All-Star Day and Cade Cunningham jerseys there.
Talk all you like. That is the biggest losing culture I've seen in the NBA since the 76ers before they got
aren't you the same guy who literally said 10 minutes ago that the most impressive team is a team that's got a losing record? Wasn't that you? You said that the Hornets were the most impressive team, and they're losers as well. They're both below 500. I don't care if it's 4, 1 and 2, 1 and 3. Below 500 is below 500, and that's what the Hornets are as well.
Oh, keep talking over me. It makes it easier to get your point across. Two major differences: they actually have an all-star on their team. Second point, they play pretty good basketball, and they actually are watchable. So
they're watchable. Big difference. Against who did they play?
The Houston Rockets, who are one of your teams. Was that?
They're under 500 right now, though, so they haven't started the season very well. Yeah. They're still jelly, but they're not at the potential that they're supposed to be at just yet. But we're acting like the Hornets are a superstar. You said most impressive. They're 1 and 2.
Mate, you're the guy who chose Russell Westbrook for Sixth Man of the Year, so I don't know why you're coming at me right now.
No, I'm just preaching. I'm just talking to what you said. You said that the Hornets most impressive 1 and 2. And you're bragging like this is a team that's, like a team can't have an all-star even though they have a losing record. It's very, very possible.
Oh, yeah, it's very possible. It's probably equally as likely as, no, actually. I was gonna say something about them winning games, but I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Just quickly, just to add a little bit to my point before. They have 6 scorers above that are scoring more than 10. 2 of them are scoring more than 20, and Thompson hasn't even played yet. There's potential there for those Pistons to actually, have a bit of a push this season and actually, show up a little bit.
Yeah, push for the 14th?
But the East sucks. The East sucks. You never know. If the Pistons go on a bit of a run, they could get hot, and then Cade leading the front of that team. You never actually know.
Okay, we won't go as far as to say there won't be a analogy for anything.
Hey, they're not gonna.
They could be like 11th seed, like close to 10. I mean, they could be 11th.
Yeah.
I'll be realistic. I'm realistic. I would say, they're like 11th, maybe 10th.
The one thing I'll give you on Cade is he's playing good, but then what do you want to see more? I'd be happy with him only scoring 20 points a game if he played 70 games. 26 or whatever he's averaging right now, is he going to be able to sustain that and play enough games this season? That's going to be a huge factor as well. So, time will tell. But yeah, to me, this is a disappointing team. If you guys want to flip that and put them in they've been in some close games. They still haven't won.
Just like you do with the Hornets? Just like what you do with the Hornets?
Oh, they won one. So
yeah, but are they above 500? Are they above 500? Yes or no?
Are you just going to repeat?
No. Are they above 500? Yes or no? That's it. That's all we need. Thank you very much. So let's move on. Let's move on to most impressive players. Who do you have as your most impressive player, Jess?
Did you say my name properly?
Did you say Jess?
I can't even. He's so mad. He's so mad right
now. So my impressive player is from one of my most impressive teams, actually. That is LaMelo Ball. The better of the ball three. 31.7 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, almost a block, and 1.4 steals. I think the one thing you've got to appreciate about LaMelo Ball is that when he's on, the game flows through him, no matter who's on the other side of the court. It's really impressive to watch him play. He's hitting an insane amount of threes at a pretty good clip from anywhere on the court. P is laughing hysterically right now. He can't control himself. He is like, he just wants to get in on this Hornets chat and the amazingness of LaMelo Ball. But I think you've made me lose my train of thought, P. It's kind of embarrassing.
Okay, sweet. We'll move on then. We'll move on.
No, but insanely incredible player, and he's actually changing what the Hornets can do. Yeah. And yeah, he won't my bold call on LaMelo Ball. He will lead the NBA in 3-pointers made this season.
Okay, that's actually I do sort of see that happening as well. I do.
Okay,
He's a good start. He's a good start.
Yeah, 31 points per game. Crazy.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball has looked real good. I appreciate that type of take there. My one for most impressive so far is actually a man from Cleveland, and that's Evan Mobley. Is my most impressive player so far. He started really well. What is he averaging 18 and 9? You know, a couple of blocks, a couple of steals. I just think he's gelling well with Donovan and Garland at the moment, and then Jarrett Allen on top of that. I think the Cavs have showed that a bit of off season when all of them are healthy, you know, all of them gelling the start of the season well, that they can actually, all four of them can actually play together and actually look real solid. I think Mobley defensively is a threat, and the way he started defensively so far, and the way that he's blocking, getting steals, and you know, stopping the flow for other teams and the big men. You know, there's potential for him to be in the running for maybe an all NBA defensive team, and maybe the first team. You know, you never really know, but I'd say he's be pretty close. But he's just been impressive, and he's scoring well too, and getting the boards, and he's doing everything he needs to do to keep Cleveland winning games and keep the pressure off. What's his name, Mitchell and Garland, and keep doing Jarrett Allen things, because Jarrett Allen is a stud.
Yeah, one underrated part about that, I reckon, the addition of Kenny Atkinson has been huge there, letting Mobley initiate a lot more offense. It kind of alleviates a lot of those stresses.
Alleviates.
See, it's so much better to hate on you than like talk with you, because even when I'm on your side, you're a cockhead.
Well, I don't know. Did you want me to give you a dictionary to learn how to say words correctly, or did you just want to go through
Do you want me to give you some common sense so you can say something, but you know, like reasonable for once? Anyway,
was that not reasonable? What I said was not reasonable?
What I was saying.
But I do like it. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we said about that Cavs team, and I mean, they started off well, 4-0, but again, this is a team that, do all you want in the regular season, man. I don't care. We know what's going to happen in the playoffs. We know. But great start to the season, and it's nice to see Mobley as well. Yeah, that's a guy who KG has said that's my prototype. So if he does live up to the hype, it should be good, man.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the way he started as well, and the way that he's kind of taking control of the Cavs a little bit, you know, and taking the pressure off those other guys, is that if the Cavs can keep running down this road and actually keep, you know, relying on him to play the way he's meant to, in the way that in the place that he was drafted, you know, I think there's potential there for Evan Mobley to and the Cavs to really make a real good run, and, you know, put a bit of pressure on.
100%. My most impressive player to start the NBA season, I got to go with Ivica Zubac. I know we were talking about him before as a top 10 center in the NBA right now, but I have to say Ivica Zubac. I have got the opportunity to watch all 3 games to start the season for the Clippers, and my goodness, that pick and roll between him and James Harden is just been, bro. It's ASMR, bro. It is cinema to watch that. I mean, James Harden, we know that. Every single pick and roll he's had, from Capella to Embiid to Zubac, any big that he gets in the pick and roll with, they always get points. And especially when you can finish around the basket like Zubac, and you can screen as well as Zubac does, it means that the defense has to overcommit, and Harden's either getting an easy layup or he's getting a big overhelping and then getting that ball to Zubac, and Zubac around the basket. My goodness, bro. He's always had the ability to finish well, but I think now, even Norman Powell was talking about it, now that he said we all had the ability to do this, but we just didn't get the opportunity because there was PG, there was Kawhi, there was Harden, there was Westbrook. Now they're actually getting to the front of the line, being able to be Harden, Powell, and Zubac. They're looking like, I mean, I'm not saying that they're Miami Heat big 3, but just to be outrageous, you know, they're a big 3 of sorts. They are doing a hell of a job right now. And all 3 of them, I think 20 plus points per game right now. They are looking insane. But yeah, Zubac upped his scoring, almost doubled his scoring, 5 more rebounds. with the opportunity, bro. He's made the most out of it and getting opportunities now to shine in the post. Zubac, top 10 center in the league right now, in my opinion. You heard it here. I truly believe right now, top 10 center for sure. So, yeah, Zubac for me, extremely impressive. And if he can keep this going all season long, would not be surprised if he can string together most improved player.
Interesting. I'm definitely not going to give him top 10 center, but most improved.
Jed, you're just way too stuck in your ways, mate.
You're just a hater, bro. That's what we call you. We call you a hater. To not put Zubac as a top 10 center right now just means you're a hater.
For the listeners, I'm going to name 13 centers better, just so it's on record.
Currently, so out of the first 4 games of the season. Okay, go.
No. Currently in the NBA.
Yeah, I said right now. I said right now. Yeah, right now.
Jokic, Wemby, Chet, Allen, Gobert, Cat.
Slow down.
Okay. Gobert, no.
Gobert,
next.
No way. Right now,
okay.
No way.
I'm down to 12. So, yep. Cat, AD, Şengün, Bam, KP, and then when Embiid comes back, Embiid.
So KP, who hasn't played a game this season, is better than right now.
Bam also hasn't been playing better than Zubac to start the season.
And Bam, who's averaging 11-9, is better than.
What else? What else are you saying there?
So we're gonna just go off 4 games, easy.
Yeah, that's what
we said. Right now. That's what we said right now
to start the season.
That's crazy. I'm taking all these guys every day of the week ahead of them, no matter what.
So you're taking Jarrett Allen. I'm going to put Zubac ahead of Jarrett Allen right now as well.
Yeah, I would also too. So what we're saying, Zubac is like the 8th, 9th currently best center in the league.
I'll say Zubac. I'll say Zubac 10. I'll say top 10 at 10 for me. Top 10 at 10. Games.
Okay, well in that case, then I've probably got him ahead of Wemby if we're just going 4 games. It's been so far. Wemby hasn't played great.
Give me Zubac ahead of Gobert, Allen,
and... No, but so far this season, Wemby or Zubac, who's played better?
Who's played better?
Well,
Zubac.
Zubac has definitely played better at the start of the season.
Yeah, it's getting interesting then, eh?
Right now, who's played better? Who's played better to start the season? To start the season,
is better than Wemby. Heard it here first.
Who's played better right now? Who's played better?
Not one of us is saying that. Not one of us is saying that Wemby is that Zubac is a better player than Wemby. We're just saying that Zubac has had a big start.
I agree. Zubac is better than Wemby. 100%.
See, he's trying to twist the word.
He's just trying to turn it, and then he's gonna go around. He's gonna go away. He's gonna clip it. He's gonna post it up, and he's gonna look at these 2 fools saying this shit.
You guys twisted my words, and I agree with your guys' logic. Yeah, Zubac is better than Wemby.
Oh, we created a monster now. He's not in a good mood. He's not in a good mood now. But let's see if we get your mood. Your mood actually, Loki, has to go down again because now we have to talk about the most disappointing players to start the NBA season. We'll start with you, Jed. Who's been your most disappointing player to start the NBA season?
Fuck, give me 15 minutes. I could list half the NBA. I'm gonna rattle off a few that I'm not gonna talk about. Ja, Curry, Haliburton. But my most disappointing player is Jamal Murray.
Oh,
man went missing in the playoffs, and he's yet to be found. You guys mentioned the Nuggets a lot earlier, and one thing I was really surprised about, you didn't mention the 36% field goal percentage, 17 points per game, Jamal Murray, the guy who is the best non-All-Star that will never be an All-Star. You can wipe those words from your mouth. The one-time champion is going to be only that, and this team is not going anywhere near further with him. And I reckon the contract that he signed is the worst contract in the NBA currently, and will be talked about for the next half decade as the worst contract in the NBA. I think a guy who has prided himself on being a guy who can turn it on, which is really commendable. In a lot of sports, we always talk about people who can turn it up when the moment matters the most. But if you can't help your team get to the playoffs or secure a playoff spot during the regular season, then you're not going to get your chance to turn it on. I think we should be really concerned with Jamal Murray at this point if he's not going to be able to help the Nuggets during the regular season. In games this year, he's been trying to be aggressive, but if he's being really aggressive and not making shots, it's to the detriment of his team.
See, on that, Jed, I agree with that Jamal Murray take. I had Jamal Murray down as well, but I also, on that, have Michael Porter Jr. as well on my most disappointing list. So we have 2 from the Nuggets. But Murray's especially, he looks terrible. He's not shooting the ball well. He looks like he's lacking confidence, maybe from the Canadian, tour, whatever. And maybe he's just brought it into the season. He's lacking confidence. Jokic looks like he's trying to take more of a lead in the team, and so Murray's kind of taking a back foot. And the same thing I think about Michael Porter Jr. is that he looks really passive. He's not shooting the ball well at all. He's not scoring. He's not going into the basket. He looks slow on defense. The Nuggets just look old. They just look old. They look tired, and they look like they don't want to be there. So, is that a coaching thing? Is that a player thing? Is that an off-season thing? What kind of things? Because both of those players have started poorly and look poor.
No, that's good. That's good. I agree fully. I feel like we're almost just beating up on the Nuggets right now, and I feel like there's a team that we should be beating up on a lot as well. The Milwaukee Bucks. They're not exempt from this. We will go at the Milwaukee Bucks. For those out there who we think we forget about them. But I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
But watching the season to start off with, who do you feel like you've got more confidence in to actually make a push over the next 20 games? Who's going to win the most games of the next 20 games out of those two sides? You're going to take the Bucks.
You're going to give the Bucks because especially the division that the Nuggets are in with the Timberwolves and the Thunder. Oh Lord, buddy.
But the Bucks at least show up a little bit more and look a little bit more enthusiastic than the Nuggets do.
But they still look old, which is a bit rough. But if I had to pick between the two, for sure. At least the Bucks have shooting, with Gary Trent and stuff that they can lean on,
Yeah, and I've got we have a bit of sympathy for the Bucks because I've got Glenn Handbrake Rivers there. So, we as much as we talk them down, we actually feel bad that they have to listen to his ass voice every day at training.
For me, most disappointing player, Bam Adebayo, and it's not even close because I think coming off the Team USA campaign, I think what is it? Tyrese Haliburton and Bam Adebayo. For some reason, it's like the Monstars took all their talents because they have just not looked anything like what we saw, last season. Bam, to start the season, 11 points, 9 rebounds per game. What's happening, Bam? And this is, Bam, the guy who last season we all were like, bro, next season he's going to take a massive step because he started shooting the 3 ball. Then he had the Olympic campaign. I was thinking to myself, bro, he's on his way. This next season, it's got to be 22-10, 22-12. And it's been 11-9 to start the season, bro. Shooting 39% from the field as a big man. And what makes it even worse, he's paying homage to Tyrese Haliburton. 0% from 3. It's terrible. It sucks. I mean, I had so much high expectation for Bam. He's on my fantasy team, which makes it even worse. But I know for sure he's going to come back. He's going to be able to, build himself back up for sure. But I think it's just a little bit, disappointing. Week 1, with all the expectation, I think not just myself, I think every single NBA fan, after seeing what he did to end last season, we all had it. But Bam, most disappointing for me. Can he turn it around? Probably. And will he? Yes, he will. Why? Because he's got Aisha Wilson. So that's all right. Yeah. But it's good, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bam started slow. I think the Heat have kind of started slow a little bit. I said to you before that I think Butler has started the season hotter than his first game was shit, but then other than that, he's kind of turned it on a little bit. So I think he's taking away from the way Bam's kind of done the last couple of seasons, where Bam's actually been the forefront, the focal point of that team starting the year because Butler kind of sucks when he starts the season. So, and Tyler Hero's back. There's a lot of mouths to feed in that team, So it's kind of tough for him to do a 17-10 kind of season. I think realistically, the way that team's kind of, with Rozier, Hero, Butler, Harkes, Bam and all those, that there's lots of potential that he's only going to do like a 14, 15 and 8 kind of season. And that's just, going to look a little bit subpar, but it's all the other things with basketball that he's going to have to do well this year, defensively, steals, blocks, and get the stops, get the all of that, and start using the ball, dribble up the court, assists, all of those types of things is what he's going to have to bring to the season to actually help the Heat and actually show that he's, capable of all of that and lead on from the USA team.
Speaking of the Heat, though, what the fuck was that statue of Dwayne Wade? What the fuck was that? That is horrid, bro.
Have you seen that James Corden episode where he does that prank on David Beckham?
Yeah,
I legitimately thought it was a prank. I thought it was a prank.
That's what I thought initially. Because even he went up to the mic and he was like, "Who was that guy?" And I was thinking the same. What the hell is that? Dwayne Wade? No.
They have to change. They'll change it surely. They have to.
Like, is he bald? Is he bald?
Bro, like Mickey Arison, you're a billionaire. Bro, what are you guys doing? You had 9 months since you announced this to get to get the statue ready to go. What is that, bro? No.
So what they're neglecting to tell us is that the day that they were doing the face and getting it sorted is it was bring your children into work day, and they accidentally left the door open to the workshop and all the kids went in and screwed around with the face and they couldn't change it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's got to be the one of the few excuses. I mean, how, bro? Billionaire owner comes up with that statue. I'm looking at Kobe. I'm looking at Dirk. I'm looking at MJ, and then you have Dwayne Wade's one. I was so sad for the man, bro. Look at he brought 3 championships to Miami, bro, and that's how you do the man. They did him extremely dirty. So yeah, I mean, shout out D Wade though. Shout out the Miami Heat. All right, fellas. And to close it out, we have got our predictions for the 2 primetime games tomorrow. You've got the Dallas Mavericks against the Timberwolves, a rematch of last year's conference finals, and then the Pelicans versus the Warriors. So, give us your predictions. First up, Mavericks versus Timberwolves. Who do you have, Jed?
I've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they're going to come back with a chip on their shoulder. Kyrie hasn't been super great to start the season. Julius Randle's still a bit of a black hole, and the Timberwolves are the worst team in the clutch. But Timberwolves at home, I think they're going to get the job done. It's probably not the smartest call, just with how bad the Timberwolves are in the clutch. But yeah, I think they'll take care of it before the fourth quarter, or at least have a 10-point cushion that they can slowly lose, but hold on to it at the end of the game.
This is pretty easy, bro. I mean, we all seen the conference finals. Yeah, I think get Gobert back in the pick and roll. Luka and Kyrie shine. Both. I'm gonna say Luka and Kyrie to both score 25 plus points. Give me the Mavericks to win.
Wow. No, see, I've got T-Wolves at home, and Edwards is going to go off against Luka. It's going to be a showdown between those two, and I predict the T-Wolves to beat them in overtime. Yeah, and the T-Wolves will win that.
Okay. And then let's go to the second primetime game, the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Golden State Warriors. No Steph Curry and possibly no Draymond. So who do you have for this one? We'll start with you, Ethan.
Yeah, so even if those two were playing, I would still take the Pelicans to win this game. I just think too overpowered with Ingram and Zion. CJ's a baller. I just think they're too overpowered, and I think the Pelicans would beat the Warriors even if they were 100% healthy.
Yeah, same for me. Pelicans 11 plus, easy with no Curry and thing. Yeah, Pelicans 11 plus.
Yeah, I agree. And Zion is starting his MVP campaign in this game with 35, 11, and 5. Not assists, blocks. Let's get it done. I believe Zion.
That's a bold
I've heard some
prediction.
things in my time. But that right there, that is dumb.
That is a bold prediction but that's good, man. We like bold predictions on here. And with that being said, that is episode 57 of the Dunk Dynasty podcast in the books. Remember, if you are listening for the first time or if you're just a regular listener, make sure to leave us a rating, a review, wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Share the podcast with your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone that you know that loves basketball as an NBA fan, and tell them Dunk Dynasty Podcast is where all the NBA fun stuff, all the NBA discussions and debates, the best ones happen. And make sure you go follow us on social media. Get us to 500 on TikTok, Instagram, get us to 1,000, and subscribe on YouTube again. Guys, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. NBA Week 2 starts now. Catch you on episode 58. With that being said, over and out.